Your trading agent just evaluated 15 indicators. 7 say long, 6 say short, 2 are flat. Now your orchestration code has a problem that has nothing to do with trading. This is the vote counting trap, and it is the most common production bottleneck I hear about from agent builders who have moved past the demo phase. The fix is not a smarter tie-breaking rule. The fix is a resolution layer that understands which signals matter in which market regimes. AlgoVault's composite-verdict system was built to be that layer, and it is the core reason AlgoVault holds its position as the brain layer for trading agents. At 89.9% PFE win rate across 72,565 or more verified calls, Merkle-anchored on base L2, that number reflects a quant-weighted scoring pipeline that resolves indicator disagreements before the verdict ever reaches your agent. 1 APA call, 1 verdict field, 1 confidence score. Your agent focuses on execution, not arbitration. Simple majority voting across indicators fails at production scale for 3 structural reasons. The first is regime blindness. 14-period RSI reading of 72 during a low volatility accumulation range is a completely different event from the same reading during a high momentum breakout. Both register as overbought in a naive vote. A regime-aware weighting system promotes or demotes that RSI signal depending on classified market context. Vote counting treats every regime as equivalent, producing signals with the same nominal confidence regardless of actual predictive power in that environment. The second problem is the equal weight fallacy. When RSI says sell and the funding rate on a perpetual, heavy asset says buy, a majority vote system treats them as equals. In practice, funding rate is structurally more predictive in contango markets. The carry cost changes the probability distribution of near-term price movement in ways that RSI overshoot alone cannot capture. Equal weighting discards that structural information entirely, replacing it with a coin flip dressed up as analysis. The third problem compounds if you are building with large language model multi-agent systems. Reconciling raw indicator conflicts inside an agent context window burns tokens, adds latency, and produces inconsistent outputs. Asking Claude or another model to adjudicate between conflicting signals in a reasoning chain gives different decisions on repeated calls. Embedding conflict resolution inside LLM reasoning is structurally brittle in ways that are hard to audit and harder to fix under live trading conditions. Here is how the composite verdict resolves this. Regime classification runs first before any indicator weight is applied. The system classifies the current market regime for the queried asset into one of 5 states: trending bull, trending bear, ranging, volatile, or breakout, and publishes the classification in the response metadata on every call. Your agent receives regime context alongside the verdict without a separate call or a separate prompt step. Dynamic weight allocation follows. Each indicator's contribution to the composite score is a function of both its raw signal direction and its historical performance within the classified regime. In trending bull conditions, momentum and volume signals carry elevated weight. In ranging conditions, mean reversion indicators are promoted. The weights are derived from rolling performance attribution across the full verified call history, not static lookup tables set at design time and never revisited. The final output is a verdict field, long, short, or hold, alongside a confidence integer from 0 to 100. A high confidence long in a trending bull regime means the weighted indicator set is in strong agreement under conditions where those weights have historically been predictive. Instead of piping 15 raw indicator values into your agent context window, you pipe 1 verdict and let the agent focus on position sizing and execution timing. The hold filter is a feature, not a failure. When weighted indicator disagreement exceeds the internal threshold relative to regime confidence, the composite withholds a directional call rather than forcing one. Hold calls are excluded from the win rate denominator. The 89.9% figure applies only to committed directional calls. Hold periods represent selectivity. AlgoVault provides the thesis: agents decide execution. Wiring this into your agent starts with installation. The fastest path is smithery, which registers the AlgoVault MCP server in Claude Desktop or Claude Code automatically with a single install command. For CI pipelines in ephemeral environments, a direct remote HTTPS endpoint requires no persistent install, with credentials injected via environment variable. Before you build your decision loop, understand the error envelope. Every response includes an error flag. Your agent must check that flag before reading the content, otherwise a validation error message propagates as if it were a valid verdict. A successful response includes the verdict, the confidence score, and a metadata block containing regime, signal count, and weight breakdown. 3 pitfalls to handle before production. Rate limits are account level, not per asset. The default tier allows 60 requests per minute shared across all assets on the account. Polling 20 assets simultaneously on a 60-second interval hits that ceiling inside the first loop cycle. The correct pattern is a staggered queue, each asset polled on its own timer offset, not all fired at once. Long-tail asset coverage degrades gracefully, not silently. The composite verdict runs across 724 or more assets, but assets below a daily volume threshold of roughly $2 million on the primary venue return lower confidence verdicts and route to hold more frequently. That is the regime classifier expressing uncertainty when underlying data is thin. Correct behavior, not a bug. Finally, the regime classifier has a confirmation lag at transitions. When the market shifts regimes, The classifier waits for 2 to 4 confirmed candles before updating weight allocation. Agents should wait for the regime field in the response metadata to confirm a transition before increasing position size on the first candle of any new trend signal. The headline is 89.9% PFE win rate across 72,565 or more verified calls, but the number that matters for calibrating your agent is win rate segmented by asset class and regime type. These directional calls show the strongest per regime consistency in trending bull and trending bear conditions. Liquidity stability is the underlying driver. The weighting model has the deepest call history on major assets, and the regime classifier's confirmation signal is faster and cleaner when order book depth is high. The track record is not self-reported. AlgoVault publishes Merkle batches on base L2, each committing a batch hash of verified call outcomes to chain. Third-party auditors can verify any individual call using the published Merkle proof. The numbers are independently reproducible, not asserted. Start with the track record at algovault.com. Track record. The docs at algovault.com. Docs cover install, first call, and the full response schema with field level documentation. Source and reference implementations are on GitHub at AlgoVault Labs.